Well, all eyes are on Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, ahead of the National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, which is expected to begin today. In the twists and turns preceding the convention, an Oyo State High Court in Ibadan has delivered a fresh endorsement directing the party to proceed with the convention. Justice Ladino Akitola gave the order this past Friday after hearing arguments from all parties, including INEC. The court ruled that its earlier interim order clearing PDP to conduct its national convention as scheduled subsists pending the determination of the motion on notice before it. It adjourned the matter to the 8th of December, declaring that the order clearing the party to hold its national convention subsists.
Well, earlier on Friday, Federal High Court issued another order stopping PDP from holding the National Convention. Justice Peter Odolifu ruled that the event cannot proceed until former Jigawa Governor Sule Lamido is allowed to contest for the position of National Chairman. He also barred INEC from supervising or recognizing the convention, insisting the PDP must follow its convention and give equal access to members. Now, in an earlier ruling in a different case, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja had issued an order stopping the convention.
All right, let's a few more items to take. Ahead of today's PDP planned convention, Governor Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State last night led at least 3 other PDP governors to pay a visit to the Lekan Salami Sports Complex with assurances that the convention will produce formidable leaders that will rebuild the PDP from the ruins. Fintiri, in company of the host governor, Sheyi Makinde, Bauchi governor, Bala Mohammed, Zamfara governor, Dauda Lawa, was received by a cheerful crowd.
We're here, and you know the reason why we're here. We're to have the assessment of the stadium, the venue of the convention, which is coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow is not here. When we get to tomorrow, we will cross the bridge.
You can see the excitement here, so we're all excited. Everything is going very well as planned.
Well, our rice correspondent Mary Chinda is in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, to keep an eye on that planned national convention of the People's Democratic Party. And she joins us now for an update. Good morning, Mary. How is Ibadan? How is the Lekan Salami? Good morning. How is Ibadan? How is the stadium? And what is going on? Will the convention proceed as we've been told by the judgment of yesterday? And we can see from the few governors that have arrived that they will cross the bridge today when they get there. Will the convention hold or not, Mary Chinda?
Well, Steve, so good to hear from you and all of the analysis earlier on. How is Ibadan? The question is, Ibadan is a beehive of activities. In fact, I should say that maybe Ibadan is the activities in Ibadan is even getting busier than bees can get, you know. But of course, the 1,001 people are expected, 5,000 delegates from all across the country. Ibadan, the Lekan Salami Sports Complex is a beehive of activities. You can see it's the D-Day, you know. I mean, the posture of those governors from last night is, you know, according to how Christians would say, this is the day that the Lord has made and we are already in it. So the stadium is buzzing with activities. As the cameraman pans around, you can see that even the stage is set. There are adverts, you know, of aspirants, you know, jostling for one position or another within the NWC. 5,000 delegates are expected to arrive at this sports complex at about, in the next 2 hours. That's about an hour, 40 minutes from now. So the PDP is actually the Damagum-led, you know, faction of the PDP is truly set for a showdown today.
Thank you,
I
Mary.
mean, it's also very interesting to know that from all of the drama that we've seen, you know, from governors defecting, decamping to the APC, to the National Secretariat of the party, Wadata House, you know, being under lock and key, to the court judgments that we've seen, you know, even barring INEC, the court judgment is said yesterday, barring INEC from monitoring this particular elective convention. I mean, the stakes are really high. I was a bit worried yesterday when I interviewed Governor Amodu Fintiri, who is the chairman of this convention organizing committee, and when I asked him, so is INEC coming? What are you going to do if INEC doesn't show up because of the court order? And he says, oh well, we're waiting. I mean, there was just this a smack of don't worry, we got it all covered, you know, look on his face, you know. So we're just waiting. Should INEC be here today, or would INEC not be here? It's a vital part of this convention that all observers are waiting to see. I must also add that I've spotted a couple of international observers, but away from international observers, INEC is the main body that is expected to monitor the processes, you know, of this elective convention today.
Thank you, Mary Chinda. Now, I want to ask very quickly, we're not expecting the former Senate President, Bukola Saraki, but it seems that some key PDP stakeholders are also not expected. So can you tell us who we're expecting to not show up and who you're looking forward to see at the convention, and what this means for the future of the PDP?
You know, it's so sad that this convention is coming at a time when Nigerians are looking up to the opposition party as the messiah, you know, for them from, you know, the insecurity, hunger, poverty, unemployment, and all whatnot that Nigerians are actually coming face to face with under the APC administration. The first person that we're not expecting today, of course, is the Minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, of course, followed by the National Secretary of the party, Senator Samuel Anyao, who in their faction totally disagree with all of the build-up, all of the processes that have led to this convention. Then, of course, the former Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, is one of the major faces that we're also expecting not to see here today. But that's a little bit, would I say, dicey, because just 2 days or 3 days before, Dr. Bukola Saraki had mentioned that he was receiving the committee, the reconciliation committee led by Hassan Adamu at his house, and he made it very clear that one of the things that the PDP needs right now is not this convention. The PDP needs to clearly, you know, put its house in order. The recommendations of that committee that was submitted to the BOT chairman, Adolphus Nwabara, was not made public by the BOT chairman on that day. However, the crisis further deepened just yesterday when the pro-Anyanwu group, you know, led by Judge Turner, supporters, loyalists of Anyanwu, and the FCT minister, led by Judge Turner, released the copy, you know, of that reconciliation committee. I must inform you that top on the recommendations of that committee is the fact that this convention should not hold. The PDP should take their time and put their house in order before they can go into a convention as a united front. The second thing in that convention, in that report, is that INEC most likely will not show up, and that poses a big question to the validity of this convention and all of what we're going to see today. In fact, according to them, this convention with INEC not showing up is totally illegal, and even if INEC even shows up, it's still illegal because of the, you know, courts deferring, you know, court judgment. Now, the last thing which is very important is the fact that what the reconciliation committee also recommended is that there should be a caretaker committee in the interim overseeing the affairs of the PDP even as the warring factions go to the table and try to resolve their issues. And that exactly was what Dr. Bukola Saraki had mentioned, had advocated the other day. So certainly we will not be surprised if Dr. Bukola Saraki does not show up here. But the reason I'm also concerned, and I'm saying that it's maybe a 60-40 for us seeing him here today, was that he was at the meeting of the NWC, BOT, and governors just 2 nights before. He actually attended that meeting, even though nothing was heard from him even after attending that meeting. So these are the major faces that we're expected not to see here. We don't want to talk about the other states, chairmen and states like Akwa Ibom and Cross River, who are loyal, to Nyesom Wike and the National Secretary of the party, because of the congresses. But of course, I also would tell you that in those states, there are some delegates in those states that are coming, because there's actually an Akwa Ibom stand. There's also a stand for delegates from Cross River. So in those states, like I know, it seems like the delegates are actually polarized. There are different factions, but across 36 states, according to what I have gathered here today, 5,000 delegates are expected to make the big decision as to the new leadership of the NWC. Remember that on December the 8th, the leadership of the current NWC would be expiring, and that's even when the court in Ibadan is saying that they're actually going to be hearing the case. So it's a mess. It's a shame, for what Nigeria's biggest opposition party, has become. It is really saddening to see all of this unfold over the last few months and weeks.
All right, Mary, talk to us also about what if the convention proceeds one way or the other, whether INEC shows up or not, and whether Saraki, Wike, and all the other people that you have mentioned, whether they show up or not. What is actually the plan? Is an elective convention. What are we expected to see? Are there names that are being touted? And more importantly, what will be the role of Sule Lamido, former governor of Jigawa, who is at the center of, a number of the court cases because of the fact that he was allegedly excluded from running as chairman of the NWC. Will he be showing up? As he endorsed, as we are hearing at this convention, what will be his position this time around?
Well, Steve, the truth is that this is looking like an ego fight. This is looking like a selfish fight. Every faction wants to be correct. It's all about personal interest. These people are not exactly, I would doubt if they are putting, Nigerians first, to be very honest. I mean, if I must be very objective. It's an ego fight, because I mean the PDP has, if the people come first for the PDP, they will think about Nigerians. Every faction is saying, oh, we're looking at Nigerians, but if you really are looking, at the plight of Nigerians, and you know that your party is being looked up to as that opposition party, or that formidable party that can, save the people, then why don't you come together? They've had a lot of time, to come together, to unite, to set aside their differences, but no, they wouldn't. Now, concerning Sule Lamido, there was this fake news that was flying all over, last night that, the governor, the host governor, Seyi Makinde, had gone to see Governor Sule Lamido. Governor Sule Lamido might be dropping his case. Governor Sule Lamido might be making it. And there was also another news that where we saw the former Jigawa governor debunking it, right? So it is just safe to say that Sule Lamido most definitely, except things change and maybe, that fake news becomes a reality, even though right now it is not, that we would be expecting to see Governor Sule Lamido. Otherwise, I mean, he's the man who took the PDP to court, and I was there. I interviewed him, just about three weeks ago when he came over to pick up the form, and then, he said he was going to court. According to him, the processes, leading to him picking up that nomination form were not clearly transparent. In his words, so should I be going to meet Governor Ahmadu Fintiri in Adamawa to get, my nomination form? But again, there are also this other school of thoughts that says you've had all the time in the world. Why would you be picking up a form on the day that they are supposed to be submitting the form? Remember that was the day that one of the aspirants, Tanimu Turaki, SAN, who's aspiring for the chairman of the party, had actually had his people submit the form, and he was waiting to be screened, But I must tell you, as someone who has been a keen observer of the happenings in the PDP, that the process, I wouldn't blame Governor former Governor Sule Lamido, because the processes, leading to the sale of forms and everything, especially for the chairmanship, if you ask me very honestly, has been shrouded in secrecy. Why is the National Organizing Secretary of the party not in possession of the forms? Why can't there be somewhere in the PDP, an office in the PDP within Wadata House, where these people, can go and pick up their forms? Why is the form housed, or stationed with just one person and one governor, who's the chairman of the National Convention Organizing Committee? With every respect to him, Ahmadu Fintiri has the form. Why? Why is that? Why is there no transparency? Why is there no internal democracy within the party? So I feel that with this, it's safe to say that it is actually an ego fight, and there's lack of transparency, there's lack of internal democracy within the party. So Sule Lamido may not be here today.
Mary Chinda, honestly, there's no one better to bring us insight into the goings on in the PDP, the lack of democracy or otherwise, but I'm sure we are going to get back to you during the day as the day goes on and the convention goes on. Thank you so much for your energy and your insights this morning.
Thank you,
All right, thank you, Mary.